Who you marry is not who you divorce. So many people want to say things like, why did you marry this person? Who they were in the beginning, it doesn't always, well, it will never be who you end up with in the end, especially if you do break up. This woman posted this in the 2X chromosome subreddit. She says, I'm going to end up right and it sucks. She says, I've been married for 15 years this next week. And I don't think my husband is going to remember our anniversary. He can tell you when hunting season starts for deer, turkey, and even duck. He can spend all sorts of energy and time in researching and prepping for hunting season. But my birthday, our anniversary, holidays, etc., I have to remind him that they are important too. After my birthday this year, where all I wanted was finger food and my friends for a couple of hours, I gave up. I had to remind him 2 weeks before to plan my party. The only gift I wanted from him was a little effort to show me I matter. No big gifts, just happy memories with people I love. I still had to remind him, and he got upset about forgetting and having to do it, which made me feel bad for upsetting him. Like, WTF is wrong with me? Trust, I'm waiting on a therapist to become available in my network, such a pain. So, right there, she's telling you that she is looking into trying to figure this out for herself. So, she's putting that out there. She says, well, now is our 15th anniversary coming up in 3 days, and I know he won't remember. He never does. I got him a card and I'll give it to him. I won't react out of anger. I won't cry in front of him because it gives him a chance to try to make himself feel less guilty for forgetting us again. You can tell that she's at the point where she has accepted that this is over. The way she's talking, she's not going to cry because in times past, she would have cried. In times past, she would have gotten angry or something. But this time, she is past that point because she has let him know. And we say these things. We say these things. She has communicated the things that she is missing. She's told him. And now she is biding her time. She's going to get out of here. I looked through some of these comments. She's active in the comments. She's not going to stick and stay, but she is giving him a chance. She's giving him a chance. She already knows that he's not going to do what he needs to do. He does not care about her or their relationship. But, she's typed this up for us. Or maybe she's just typing this up for herself. Anyways, let's look at some of these comments. We got Callio saying, it's not that hard to set reminders on your phone if you're really horrible at remembering dates. I don't know why men don't do this if it's truly hard for them to remember the date. They just get taught they don't have to put much effort into relationships, I guess. And they might think they don't have to put effort into relationships, but women are leaving these relationships where there's no effort. Women are not sticking and staying these days because it truly is lonely to be in some of these relationships where you're not supported in a reciprocal way. Kellyanne says, agreed. Just set up the reminders in the calendar. At my job, we can book e-cards in advance. Once a year, I sit down and create them for all of the office birthdays and company anniversaries. Even if I get busy on the actual day, the system will send out the message and it looks like I remembered. But then Talking Cat says, it's not that he forgets, it's that he doesn't care. I don't know if Coach McGurk is a man or a woman, but I hate this comment from this person. This person says, I hope one day you show yourself as much love as you seem determined to show him. I hope your children see what you're doing and learn from your terrible example and never do or accept the behavior you're accepting as acceptable. And then she says, I'm not accepting it. I've been making moves to leave. Hard to do when he's the sole income and gone half the week. So sports, farm animals that we raise for food fall on me. They may not be at the speed that you find acceptable, but it's the fastest I can go with the time I'm given. So she is a stay-at-home mom. She is not working. And this is another example of why women need to have a plan. B, C, D, E, F, G, L, M, N, O, P, all of the plans. Because when it is time to go, you have to do so much to execute a plan to actually leave. Coach McGurk says, well, good for you. I read another one of your comments where it said, I'm not going anywhere and I must have misinterpreted. But the thing is, the way they come in just mean. Like what is this supposed to help? What is this supposed to help? Leisurely Hyacinth says, are there things he does ever do that are right? And she says, he's a great dad and he works hard. He wouldn't cheat. And then this person says, the bar's in hell. The OP says, who you telling? You mean in hell's hell. Felisa Sora says, I'm so sorry this is what your life has turned into. I'm sure when he was making you laugh so much your face hurt, you never imagined the lack of respect, effort, and care that he would become capable of. I also understand that you're slowly making moves towards divorcing him, so I want to ask, can you begin to separate from him while living together? Move into another room, reject intimacy, focus on the chores that benefit you, the kids, and the animals. For example, leaving his laundry but continuing to do your own. It just hurts to imagine you pretending everything is fine when you're simply not fine. He deserves to feel the discomfort of being such a dissatisfying spouse. He's been told that I feel alone in our marriage. I've cried about the disconnect between us, tried talking about it so many different ways. There is no intimacy anymore, which is even worse because I feel rejected all the effing time. Yes, I've told him this. I'm already doing everything but moved into a different room. I don't want to when he's gone half the week anyways. And I love my bed. Then Felisa Soares says, wow, I'm so sorry. It sounds like he's emotionally abandoned you. Regarding the bed, that's so valid. I would resent leaving my own bed too, and it doesn't sound like it'll make him have a hard think anyways. Iridium Flareon says, why are you with him? And then she says, because he used to make me smile so much my face would hurt. And I love him. I did say I'm getting into a therapist. I'm sorry, she meant to say I'm getting into therapy. But then Stoji Jin says, what is a therapist going to help change? Why would a therapist help him to be more accommodating to you? She says, I'm getting me one. He won't go to one. Oxface says, girl, seriously, what are you teaching your children? Getting a divorce attorney would be cheaper in the long run. I mean, still get into therapy, but so many of your problems would improve drastically if you dumped the piece of poop who actively doesn't give a poop about you. And then Gnome and Garden says, that is all I kept thinking too. Sons, now they know how to treat women. Daughters, now they know what they should put up with, or they learn what not to. And the thing is, like she said before, and people might not have seen the comment, she's a stay-at-home mom and she does not have the income. She does need to make the situation better by getting ready to leave. I get that. But she's working on it. She is actively working on it. She said it in the comments. Sweet Raspberry says, that stuff sucks, full stop. But also, why not react in anger? Like it's completely something for you to be angry about. You're entitled to throw a little anger his way. That's a consequence of being checked out and thoughtless. Don't make it easy on him if you want any hope of fixing it. But I don't think she wants any hope of fixing it. Ekbet says, LOL, way too far for this. I kept my violent comments to myself, but trust me, there would be even such a show if that MF would never ever forget ever again. She makes an explanation or she speaks on how she was raised. She says, the angry side of me is being held back. I'm an Appalachian woman's great-granddaughter. She was born in 1914 and I was the last child she raised. The angry woman in me will get a felony. The petty woman in me will shame him publicly. The hurt woman in me will give up. And the resolved woman in me will move on. I just needed to vent to people who would get it. The woman at the bottom says, let her out. That man needs to know you are a mountain lion. But I do think that she's here. She's in this part. The resolved woman in me will move on. If she had the money and the resources, she would pick up her stuff and leave. I hope she checks back in and lets us know if he remembers or speaks to the aftermath of him forgetting. I'm going to make this post that I found in the marriage subreddit be its own post, but I'm going to attach it right here. So this person asked, would you marry your spouse? Knowing everything you know now, if you could go back before you got married, would you still marry your spouse? I'm so curious, especially those of you who've been together 10, 15, 20 years or more. So I'm going to check out some of these comments, but like I said, I'm going to make this its own post. I just wanted to put this here at the end so that you can get a quick glimpse of where I'm going. Let's look at a few of these posts. The very first person says no. The person in the middle, can do this, says best decision in my life, so yes, would marry him again. This person, step back, says 100%, been together 8 years, and honestly, she's still my favorite person to hang out with. Like, yeah, marriage is work and we've had our moments, but I can't imagine doing life with anyone else. I like where it says that's so sweet. Miserable 88 says, wow, these results are surprising to me. Marriage is harder and more challenging than I ever thought. Life throws major curveballs. That said, it's also incredibly comforting and brings me so much joy and peace. We just celebrated our 11th wedding anniversary. Yes, I would absolutely choose him again. My best advice is to just keep communicating and loving each other, even when you don't agree on things. So, like I said, this is just a sneak preview. I'm going to do a longer version. In the meantime, join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and share.